Hello and welcome back to the another episode of the Hindu News Analysis, and the date is 21st July 2025. So in this video we are going to discuss some important articles which are very much relevant for your preparation. If you are preparing for UPSC or other state civil service exam, then this video is going to be very much important for you. You know, before we'll start our discussion, I would like to give you the brief introduction about the initiative which we had started here on our YouTube channel. The name of the initiative is Target IAS 2026. Under this initiative, every day we upload two videos. We try to upload two videos every day. One in the morning, where we discuss the daily news analysis, which is this video, and one in the evening session, where we discuss the static syllabus of yours. Here we had already completed, in our last class we completed the full syllabus of Indian polity, whether related to prelims or mains. Now from today we are going to discuss the governance part of of your syllabus. So if you like this initiative, please be the part of this journey. Do subscribe the channel and do watch the video, this as well as the evening video where we will discuss your static syllabus. And one more thing, we are also preparing your notes. If you want to get access to those notes, please do email us, and then you would have to pay 200 rupees per subject. This is all about the initiative. If you want to be the part, please do subscribe it and share it with your friends. Now without any delay, let's start our discussion here. Today's discussion, the first article of today's discussion, it is about the Justice Verma, who was serving in the Delhi High Court, and unfortunately, what happened? His residence, in Delhi, it got, that got fire, and huge amount of money was recovered from his residence, and then he was transferred to the Allahabad High Court. He was transferred back to the Allahabad High Court. Everybody knows about this scheme. Everybody knows what he was caught red-handed, and it is proven that the committee was created by the Chief Justice of India about it, and he was proven that he is guilty. So with respect to this, it was demanded from him that he should resign. The collegium demanded from him that he should resign, but he did not agree to resign. He told them that if you want to remove me, let's follow the procedure in the Judges Inquiry Act. Let's follow the procedure given by the Constitution, and then remove me. Now here the question is, what is the procedure in the Constitution? How can you remove a judge of a High Court or a Supreme Court? For that, the Constitution is very much clear with respect to the what are the basis for the removal. The basis for the removal is if he has done misbehavior, if he has done misbehavior, or he is he has shown incapacity, then he can be removed. If if it is proven misbehavior and incapacity, then judge can be removed. What are those? The proven misbehavior and incapacity. And who can remove the judge? Who can remove the judge? It is the president's order by which judge can be removed. So in nutshell, it is the president who is going to remove it. Is this power of the president? Does he have? Is it the sole satisfaction of the president? If you would have followed my political classes, we had discussed this in a very huge detail. Here I am just putting some light on it so that you will get to know what it is. Is this the sole satisfaction of the judge? No, it is neither the satisfaction of the government nor the satisfaction of the judge, but it is the resolution which should be passed in the Lok Sabha as well as in the Rajya Sabha by the special majority. Then only judge can be removed. So this is what actually how he is removed. Here mostly you would see that the term, it would be used as impeachment with respect to the removal of judge, but Constitution does not talk, Constitution does not define the removal of judge as an impeachment. So please do remember that Constitution does not say it as an impeachment. Impeachment term is only mentioned with respect to the President of India. So how he would be removed? It is mentioned in the Judges Inquiry Act of 1968 that mentions how he should be removed. Suppose if the bill is introduced in the Rajya Sabha, then it should be supported by 50 persons, 50 MPs, and if it is introduced in Lok Sabha, then it should be supported by 100 MPs. After that, the speaker or the chairman, they will accept it. Then what will happen? They will constitute the inside parliamentary committee, which will inquire this act of the judge, whether he is guilty or not. If he is proven guilty, he will be given time, 14 days time, to represent himself in the parliament, or he will be represented by some other person in the parliament. After he is proven, then the voting will start, and if the bill passes by the special majority in both the houses, the bill has passed by the special majority, then president will issue an order of his removal, so he will be removed. In this way, the judge is removed. So what this article actually is talking about, that minimum support gained to move for removal of the Justice Verma. So in this, this has initiated the minimum support of 100 MPs had already signed a notice to bring a motion in Parliament for the removal of Justice Yadav Verma of the Allahabad High Court. So with this, I hope you had understood the article. Little bit background of this Justice Verma, how he was involved in the corruption case. How in a scam, we can say, he was involved, and how it was proven that he was involved in corruption. And then he was told by the collegium that he should resign. So far till now, there is no judge of Indian High Courts or Supreme Courts who has been removed by this procedure. It would go in the records if he would get removed by this procedure under the Indian Constitution, what we have for the removal of the judge. So with this, I hope you had understood the article, the important points related to this article, and little history behind it. Now let's move to the type of question which can be asked from this article. This is very relevant to your prelims preparation mostly. The question can say, which of the following describes the correct procedure for the removal of the High Court judge in the India? First, an executive order by the Prime Minister's office, totally incorrect. An order of the President passed after an address by each house of the Parliament supported by a special majority, that is absolutely correct. Third, a decision taken by the Supreme Court College, totally incorrect. A resolution passed by simple majority, totally incorrect. So with this, the correct option is option B. Now with this, let's move to the another slide and see what this article is about. Here the article is talking about what, as if we can look at the title of the article, it is talking about what is the European Commission's age check plan to keep children safe online. The present time is the time of science and technology, which we are learning from very young age. We are, whatever we do, we are so much controlled by the technology. Our every action is defined by the technology in present days. We want to feed our children. What we do, we have so much less amount of time left with us. What we do when we have to feed our children, we give them tablets or phones in their hand, and they are going to watch those cinematic animation, they are going to watch cartoons, they are going to watch videos there, and they will get addicted to it. Those videos are created for that purpose, that they will get more views, so they create it in a way that people will get addicted towards it, or children will get addicted towards it. So it does not only have this much harm. When we give easy access to the technology, to the artificial intelligence, we can say, to the internet, we can say, to these children who are either very young or who are in their teens, when they get the easy access to this technology, they get exposed to many things. They get exposed to many things which can be very much harmful for them. They may also get something great from this technology, but the chances are they get exposed to many harmful things. The major issue is with the pornography. They will get addicted to it. They may get addicted to the gambling, online gambling. They may get addicted to the gambling games. They may get addicted to various, they may get in touch with those people who are very bad in character. They may get in touch with the pedophilites. They may get addicted towards, they may get contact with those pedophiles. So there are various issues with respect to this. Now, how we can restrict it? Every person will try to restrict it. Every country will try to restrict it. But is it possible? Is it really possible? If we look at the countries like Australia, what they had done, they had brought up the laws under in which they had totally banned the use of mobile phones or the use of social media. For whom? For the children below 15 years, they had totally banned it. And France, they are also trying to endorse, they are also trying to bring in such law. And France president, he has appreciated such law of the Australia. But is it really so? Can we really do it? So with respect to this, European Commission, they had a different plan how it can be restricted. European Commission, they had a different plan how it can be restricted. Sometimes we feel that what the best way to keep a check on this, the best way to keep a check on whether children should get the access to it, is that websites will ask, you would have often seen, if you would have watched any such videos, or if you get access to the internet, sometimes websites will ask your age. The question is, should the websites ask these such questions which will check your age? Does it, for example, even we adults, we have access to everything, whatever we want to do. When the websites ask you your age, they ask you various questions, we get very much, we get very much under shell that should I give the access to these things. Am I giving my privacy to them? Am I giving, are they going to violate my privacy? So there are various questions which may come to our minds when such questions are asked by these websites. So in this case, is it the European Commission, they had, they had discussed this. Is it the right way to bring in, to put ban on the usage of children on these websites? Or should we go for the alternative in which there we would use this, these questions would be, should we go for an alternative where the devices would be separate for those children? Those devices would be designed in such a way that they cannot even access those websites, they cannot use such websites, they cannot even watch such videos through their devices. So that would be the better way in in protecting these children. It would be the better way in bringing in ban on these children, rather than asking for the blanket ban where everybody will have to give their age status, will have to give their personal information, which eventually can impact the privacy of the person. We should not focus on this way of banning this, rather than we should create, it should be very much device based. The devices which the children use, they should be very much separate, in which there would be the limited features for their fun. Maybe for the games there would be limited features, they could never get access to such videos. So this is the crux of this article, what this article talks about European Commission. What it is the executive arm of the European Union. It is the executive arm of the European Union. So with this, I hope you had understood this article. This information which is given in here can be very much relevant for your mains exam. You can with respect to the with respect to the right to privacy, which is the fundamental right given by the Supreme Court through the Patusami judgment. You can be asked such questions. When you get access to internet, you are asked such questions. How can the executive bring in the laws which can negate this? This question is very much relevant for your mains too. So you can bring in these arguments which are given by the European Commission. So with this, let's move to the another article and see what type of it is and what does it talk about. Well, the article is about the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra gaining a new impetus to ties, says Chinese envoy. So this Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, it was not conducted for 5 years, and the reason was, earlier it was due to COVID-19, and then due to the Ladakh clashes between India and China, so it was not conducted. So now, as the terms are cooling down, as the conditions are going better between India and China, it was conducted, this Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, it was conducted after 5 years, and it is really important for the relation between the two nations. So with respect to this, it can be, this topic can be relevant for your mains as well as your prelims preparation. Here, what do you know, what do you want to know? This article itself is much relevant to your to your prelims preparation. Here, what do you need to know? What are the routes used for this? What are the routes used for this yatra? We should know. It is earlier it used to be Lipo Lake Pass. Through Lipo Lake Pass it was used, through Lipo Lake Pass. But in this Lipo Lake Pass in Sikkim, it would require huge amount of trekking for the people. So it is not justified. It is not recommended for the old age people. And the another pass, another route which is used is the route. Nathula route. So this is also used for this Nathula route. It is also used, and now mostly this Nathula pass is being used by the authorities because of the great infrastructure from the Tibetan side, and also very less amount of trekking is done through this. The very less amount of trekking is done while doing this yatra. So now the preferred one is the Nathula Pass in the Sikkim, and this Lipu Lake Pass it is in Uttarakhand. So these are the majorly two routes which were preferred for this yatra. So now as the terms are cooling down, as the conditions are cooling down between India and China, and the Chinese envoy has represented it, he has shown it how it can be a new impetus to ties between China and India. So with respect to this, we need to know what are the organizations which are involved in this journey. It is mostly the from the Indian side, the Ministry of External Affairs, which is involved in this yatra, because it is between the two countries. This yatra is mostly between the two countries, so you may get confused when in the options there would be the Ministry of Tourism, but it is not the case here. In this case, it is the Ministry of External Affairs. So this much, these are some important points which you need to know about this question, which can be very much relevant for your preparation. So with this, let's see what type of question can be asked in the exam. Here the question can say, with reference to the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, which of the following states, union territories in India serve as traditional starting points or transit routes? It is the Uttarakhand and the Sikkim. So Lipu Lake and the Nathula Pass respectively. So with respect to this question, the correct option would be option B. Now with this, let's move to the another article here and see what does this article talk about. Well, again, the article is more relevant to your prelims preparation. And here the article, we had recently discussed about it, that there is a conflict in the Syrian Suweda province, Suweda province, where it is majorly in this Suwedian province there would be the Druze community is located, which is Shia minorities in this Syria, and they are very good allies of Israel. To these Druze community, they had they are very much allies of Israel, and they are located in the Golan Heights. They are located in Israel. They are located in Syria, Lebanon. So they had close ties with they have very close ties with the Israeli government. So with respect to this, but there is another tribe also, which is Bedouins in this region. Another tribe, Bedouins, which are Arabian tribals which live in Syria. They had gone in conflict with the Druze, and in this conflict, almost above 1,000 people were killed in this conflict. And eventually, when there was these conflicts were going on, the Israeli government, what they did, they decided to attack the city, Damascus. They started to attack the cities of Syria, so that they will put pressure on the interim government of the Syria, where Al-Julani is the president, who was earlier the most wanted terrorist, and now he is the president, and he even shared the stage with the Donald Trump. This is eventually how the world politics moves on. So he is the interim president now. Israeli government, they had attacked Syria so that it would put pressure on Syrian government so that these killings will stop from the Druze side. These attacks on the Druze community will stop, and eventually now, by the help of the Syrian government, and pressure from the from the Israel and Turkey, there has been the truce has been achieved between the Bodovians and the Druze community. So this is about the article. Here what becomes important for you is this Syrian Sweda province. It becomes important for you. It can be asked in the question. This province was recently in the news. To which state, to which country it belongs, so you need to know, and what was the reason for it to be in the news. So such question can be asked in the exam. So let's see what question we had brought with respect to this article. Here the question says, consider the following statements regarding the Sweda province recently in the news. First, it is a predominantly Druze majority province located in southern Syria. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement. Second, recent clashes in the province has involved the Syrian government forces, local Druze militias, and the Bedouin clans. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement either. Third statement, neighboring Israel has conducted airstrikes in the region, citing the protection of the Druze minority. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, all the three statements are correct. So the correct option would be option D. Now let's move to the another article. Here the article is much relevant with your mains exam. It says that India can reframe the artificial intelligence debate. So what does this, what is the whole idea behind this article? Let's try to understand that. Let's see why does India stand, and how much world has contributed to the AI, artificial intelligence. How much world has contributed to it. Let's see how India can play its role, how India can play its role in artificial intelligence regulation. Right now, as we are seeing how the world is moving and how artificial intelligence is getting involved in our day-to-day life. How we are depending much on the artificial intelligence, how on every aspect of our life we are very much dependent on the artificial intelligence, and the time would come when our every act of our life, our every decision would be decided by the artificial intelligence, and it is very much something which is the reality. It is no science fiction anymore. So with respect to this, there are countries who are trying to bring in the laws, who are trying to bring in the reforms in which we can reform how, in which we can regulate the artificial intelligence, because this artificial intelligence, as it is the best thing which has happened, but at the same time it has the huge potential to be misused. So it can be misused in the cyber space. It can be misused at the defense sector. It can be misused anywhere. Everywhere it is being misused. For example, there are cyber frauds, there are deep fake we had seen, deep fakes we had seen how it has been used. So it has huge potential, that it can be misused against the humans. Nobody, not even if we look at the community, from starting from the individual to the community to the countries to the continents, it can be misused against anyone, because it has such potential. So it is very much important for the countries or for the unions to come in and to regulate the artificial intelligence. So with respect to this, different summits have been held so far. For example, in 2013, first global summit on AI was hosted by the UK. In 2023, first global summit on AI was hosted by UK. It was hosted by UK, and its focus was on the risks related to AI. So its focus was on risks related to AI, how AI is transforming our industry, our way of life, and others, and how it is important in the present world to regulate it. Then after that, there was second, after this summit in 2024, there was second summit which was hosted in Seoul, South Korea. Then in 2025, the summit was hosted by the France, and it was co-hosted by India. AI, under the name AI Action Plan. Under the name AI Action Plan. Now, in 2026, in 2026, another such summit, the fourth summit, would be hosted by India under the name Impact AI, under the name AI Impact Summit. AI Impact Summit. So why this article right now? What is the gist of the article? This article says this the fourth summit, which India is going to host in 2026 under AI Impact Summit. This is the chance for India to show its leadership qualities, to bring in the reforms or regulations which the country should adopt with respect to artificial intelligence. It is the prime time for India to bring in, because right now the world is divided. If we will see, the world is divided with respect to AI into two blocks. One, obviously the China, which says there should be the control, complete control on the artificial intelligence. Then the another is of the UK and US, which says that there should be freedom of business. It should be kept to the private industries. If we will block it, it will definitely block the innovation in the AI. Then there is European Union, which is the first country which has brought laws with respect to AI, and it has struck a good balance between the two. What are the, how it can be misused, and how there should be ban on such things, which should be only kept for the private sector, which should be only kept for the government. So with respect to this, the author says that it is the prime time for India that to come in and bring in the laws, how it can be used, how it can be misused, what are the various what can be the various regulations with respect to it. And eventually, if we look at, India has already started it. The Ministry of Electronics, they had already sent the, they had already asked the public opinion about it. Ministry of Electronics and IT, they had consulted the public, what is your opinion with respect to the regulation of AI. They had already asked it, and it is the prime time for India to also show that how India is the leader of the global south. In the earlier summits, there was no talk about the exclusion of the global south. In the present time, even how much AI is important, how it has the worst impacts. But one of the most worst impact of the AI is that there is many countries would be excluded from its usage because of their dependence on other countries, or because of their low stature with respect to the economic representation. So it is prime time for India to to bring in to shrink this gap between the south countries and the developed countries. And it is prime time for India to show how it can be the true global leader with respect to AI. It can bring in the laws, and at the same time, it is the country who is the leader of the global south. So this is in a nutshell what this article is talking about. Now with this, let's move to the last article of today's discussion. Basically, this article, it is giving us the various data. It gives us the data about the voting in the UN. It gives us the data about voting in UN, how India's voting pattern has changed over the history, and what does it say about the present global order. So this data can be very much relevant for your preparation with respect to your mains exam. If any such question may be asked, how the global how the world order is changing, and the importance of UN, and how India has changed its stance over the time. So this article, it has dealt with certain questions. For example, the areas in how many times India has voted as a yes in UN, how many times India has voted as no in UN, or how many times India has abstained from the votes, abstained from the voting. So when there are these two answers, yes or no, it shows that clear stand of any country. But why do the country abstain from the vote? There are various ways. It can be understood in this way. For example, there would be a policy. For example, in 2023, when there was attack on Israel, then the resolution was passed, and this resolution was brought in by the France, and this did not represent it as a terrorist attack. So what India did, India could have signed this, but India abstained it. Why? Because there was this resolution, it did not showed that it was a terrorist attack, and which eventually is against the interests of India. So sometimes what will happen, let me explain. Sometimes there would be policies brought by the countries which India would eventually support, but in those policies there would be certain lines which are against the interests of India. So what India will do, India will abstain from the voting. Or sometimes there would be policies which would be against the allies of our country. So but at the same time we want to show that show to the another bloc that we are good with you too. So what we will do, we will abstain. So this abstaining from the voting, it is itself a decision, and it shows the capability of a country to cooperate with all the players in the world, whether it would be the two block system or three block system. It allows us to cooperate with every country. It allows us to have a good relationship with US and Israel, at the same time with the Arab countries and the Russia too. So here what this article is saying, that in the recent years, if we look at the data, from the data, it is very much clear that the instances has come up where India has abstained from voting. India is abstaining from the voting. And what is the reason for that? The reason is that the world is divided is divided more like it used to be during the Cold War era. So this article gives us the data. From 1950s to 60s, what was the status? Status with respect to yes votes, it were between 22 to 100%. And how many times India has abstained? It was between 0 to 40% abstaining. Then it was from 1970s to 90s, there were high no's and yeses, and abstaining was very low as the global order was changing, as USSR was breaking down. Then from 90s to 2019, our yeses were approximately 75% and abstaining were approximately 15%. And now again it has changed. Our abstaining, it has gone up to 44%. Our abstaining in the present era has gone up to 44%. So it definitely shows that the world is divided into many poles, and we need to prove that to have a better relations with every player in this conflict, or in the present conflicts. We need to show this status. We need to take the middle path, which is abstaining from the vote. So this is actually what this abstaining shows, why there are much abstaining from the Indian side. So with this, I hope you had understood the article. If there is any doubt, please do write in the comments. This initiative is for you guys. It is totally for you. We are here to help you. And also please do subscribe the channel and do watch the video in the evening session too, because from today we are going to start the governance. Trust me, you don't want to miss these videos. It is the free education, free coaching which we are giving to you. This is the same coaching for which you pay in thousands and lakhs in the coaching institutes, and we are giving you totally free. Do subscribe it. You may like it, you may not like it. Maybe we lack some experience, maybe I lack some experience, but at the end it is the information which matters. Try to collect this information, and do read our notes. They are very much available, but not free. You have to pay 200 rupees per subject. For that you will have to mail us. Go through those notes and you will see the difference. So with this, I would like to end the class. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.